Chapter 8. The Pilot. "Just stay still," a voice said. It was Mary. She was sitting down on the floor. The pilot signalled for Norman, Polly and Dennis to sit next to her. As they got closer, they could see that the pilot was badly injured. His uniform was soaked in blood and his arm was broken. He was very tired. He propped himself up so that the gun was pointing at the children, but he couldn't stay awake. His eyes started to close. Mary inched forward to grab the gun. She reached out. Her hand was almost on it when the pilot's eyes opened again. The gun was pointing straight at Mary, but the pilot had given up. He let Mary take the gun away. "Get him some water," said Mary. Polly got water for the pilot to drink, and Norman gave him the last piece of birthday cake. But the pilot was still very weak. Without a doctor, he would die. What should they do? If they fetched help, Granger would find out that they had been in the greenhouse. Then there would be trouble, especially for Mary. "You'd better go back to the hall," Norman told her. "Then Polly can get help." After Mary and Polly had gone, Norman and Dennis waited with the pilot. Suddenly, the door flew open and Granger burst in. He was pointing a shotgun at them. "What's all this, then?" he shouted. "Don't shoot him," Norman shouted. "What makes you think it's him I'm going to shoot?" said Granger. The pilot was carried from the greenhouse to the front of Westbourne Hall. Mr. Jenkins was there with his car. So was Vivian Belling. Polly, Norman and Dennis stood nearby as the pilot was put into the back of Jenkins's car. They heard Belling talk to the pilot. She was speaking in German. "That proves she's a spy," said Polly. The pilot was driven off to hospital. "You three keep off my land, or next time I'll be pointing my gun at you," Granger shouted at them. They ran back to Wells Farm as fast as they could. When they got back, there was more bad news. Private Wilson had arrived to collect Luigi. "He won't be coming here again," he told Amy. "He's being moved to another farm." "Where?" Amy asked. "Westbourne Hall." It was Granger. He had got the Italian moved so that Luigi couldn't help Amy any more. Luigi gave Amy a cross he had carved. He was very upset. He wanted to stay at Wells Farm, but he had to go where he was told. Norman, Polly and Dennis felt like giving up. They couldn't think what to do to stop Granger. But Mary hadn't given in. That night, when Granger slipped off into the darkness, Mary followed him. She was on his trail.